Hey there, Algebra 2 students. Welcome back to Miss McGuire's classroom. I'm Miss McGuire, and let's jump into Unit 3, Lesson 2. Don't forget to put your first and last name, period, and the date in the upper right-hand corner. Today's topic is multiplying polynomials and finding greatest common factors, or GCFs. Today's objective is I will multiply polynomials and combine like terms to write my answer in simplest form. So today we're going to multiply a whole bunch of polynomials. We're going to multiply some binomials by binomials. We're going to multiply a binomial by a trinomial. We're going to multiply a trinomial by a trinomial. It's going to be so much fun. All right. Am I the only person who thinks this is fun? All right, let's do this. So for number 1, we're going to multiply x squared plus 1 times x squared plus 2x. So remember, we use the distributive property. We distribute x squared to these two terms, and we're going to distribute the 1 to those two terms as well. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times 2x is 2x cubed. 1 times x squared is x squared. And 1 times 2x is 2x. Now we need to see if we have any like terms. Well, this is the only x to the 4th term, x cubed, x squared, and x. So we don't have any like terms. This is our final answer. I know this is my final answer because the variables are in order from the highest exponent to the lowest exponent. So x to the 4th, then x cubed, then x squared, then x to the 1st. All right, let's do part B. So why don't you go ahead and give part B a shot on your own. Press pause and then press play when you're ready to check your answer. Go for it. All right, so my final answer is x to the 8th plus 2x to the 7th minus 3x cubed minus 6x. Hopefully our answers match. All right, for part C, we're going to multiply a binomial by a trinomial. So what we have to do is we're still going to use the distributive power. We're going to multiply x by x squared, 2x, and negative 3. Then we're going to multiply negative 1 by x squared, 2x, and negative 3 as well. So instead of having to distribute to 2 terms, we distribute to 3 terms. So x times x squared, x cubed. X times 2x, 2x squared. X times negative 3, negative 3x. Negative 1 times x squared, negative x squared. Negative 1 times 2x, negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 3, positive 3. I have some like terms, so I'm going to combine them. I get x cubed, 2x squared minus x squared is 1x squared. Negative 3x minus 2x is negative 5x, and then plus 3. So my final answer is x cubed plus x squared minus 5x plus 3. Part D. So I actually want you to change part D. And this is how I'm going to know if you're actually watching my Edpuzzles or not, because you're going to change this problem. I want you to multiply a trinomial by a trinomial. To do this, I want you to multiply x squared plus x plus 2 times x squared minus 3x plus 4. So you're going to distribute x squared to x squared, negative 3x, and 4. You're going to distribute x to x squared, negative 3x, and 4. And you're going to distribute 2 to x squared, 3x, and 4. So you're going to multiply x squared by all 3 of the terms in the second polynomial. You're going to multiply x by all 3 of those terms. And you're going to multiply 2 by all 3 of those terms. I want you to go ahead and do that real quick. And then you're going to check your answer with mine. And then we'll combine like terms together. So go ahead and do all that multiplication and see what you get. Press pause and then press play when you're ready to check. So this is what I got. I got x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 2x squared minus 6x plus 8. And now we're going to combine all of our like terms. So x to the 4th is the only x to the 4th term. X cubed, there's 2x cubed terms, negative 3x squared plus x to the 3rd would be negative 2x squared, 2x cubed, sorry. Negative 3x cubed plus x cubed is negative 2x cubed. Then 4x squared, negative 3x squared, and 2x squared. 4 minus 3 is negative, wait, 4 minus 3 is 1, plus 2 is 3. So we would get 3x squared. Then 4x minus 6x is negative 2x. And then we're left with plus 8. So our final answer is x to the 4th minus 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 8. All right, let's do a fun one. So for part E, we have x minus 1 squared times x minus 3 cubed. This is going to be a lot of work. Let's dive right in. So x minus 1 squared actually means x minus 1 times x minus 1. X minus 3 cubed is actually x minus 3 times x minus 3 times x minus 3. We're about to do a crap ton of distribution. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the first two by each other and put that in parentheses. Then we're going to multiply, actually, you know what? Let's multiply the last two by each other and we'll work our way to the left. And with multiplication, you can go in whatever order you want. So we're going to leave x minus 1 times x minus 1 times x minus 3 alone. And we're going to multiply x minus 3 times x minus 3. So let's do this. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3, negative 3x. Negative 3 times x, negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Now we're going to distribute the x, or actually, let's combine our like terms real quick. X squared minus 6x plus 9. So now we're going to distribute x to each of these, and then we're going to distribute the negative 3 to each term as well. So we're leaving the first two alone. Also, I wrote this in parentheses because we have to multiply this by the rest. So we're keeping things in parentheses until we're all done with all the multiplication. X times x squared would be x cubed. X times negative 6x. X times 9. Negative 3 times x squared. Negative 3 times 6x. Positive 18x. Negative 3 times 9. All right, let's combine our like terms. I told you this problem was fun. Negative 9x squared, 27x, and negative 27. So negative 6x squared minus 3x squared is negative 9x squared. 9x plus 18x is 27x. All right. Actually, okay. So now we're ready to distribute again. We're going to distribute x to each of these terms. And we're going to distribute the negative 1 to each term as well. So let's do this. All right, x times x cubed, x to the 4th. X times negative 9x squared, negative 9x cubed. X times 27x, 27x squared. X times 27, negative 27x. And now we're going to multiply negative 1 by each of those. The nice thing about multiplying by negative 1 is all the signs flip, but everything else stays the same. So negative 1 times x cubed is negative x cubed. Negative 1 times negative 9x squared is positive 9x squared, etc. All right, let's combine those like terms real quick. So we get x to the 4th, and then we have a couple x cubes here. So negative 9x cubed minus x cubed is negative 10x cubed. Let's see, 27x squared and 9x squared would get us 36x squared. Negative 27x and negative 27x would be negative 54x. And then we still have positive 27. Now we have to do distribution 2 more times. We're almost done. All right, so we're going to distribute this x to each term. And we're going to distribute the negative 1 as well. We're going to simplify by combining like terms, and then we'll finally be done with this problem. All right, so x times x to the 4th is x to the 5th. x times negative 10x cubed, negative 10x to the fourth, x times 36x squared, x times negative 54x, x times 27. Now multiply everything by negative 1. So the terms stay the same, but the signs all flip. So x to the fourth becomes negative, negative 10x cubed becomes positive, etc. Okay, now let's combine like terms. So we have x to the fifth is its own term. Let's see, negative 10x to the fourth, negative x to the fourth would be negative 11x to the fourth. Hopefully all my signs are right and everything. All right, 36x cubed would go with 10x cubed. So we get 46x cubed. I'm just crossing them out when I'm done with them, so I don't have to look at them again. 54, negative 54x squared and negative 36x squared. Is that 90? Yeah, negative 90x squared. 27x plus 54x. Let's see, that would be 81. Hopefully that's right. And then negative 27. All right. So my final answer is x to the fifth minus 11x to the fourth plus 46x cubed minus 90x squared plus 81x minus 27. That was ridiculous. All right. So now I want you guys to do one of those on your own. Don't worry, there's only 2 squareds this time, not a cubed, so it's a little less work. All right, so you're gonna take 2x plus 1 squared times 2x minus 1 squared. And you are going to, don't forget to expand these as 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. Oh, just kidding. Times 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. So rewrite it like that and then start multiplying. When you're ready to check your work, press play. Until then, press pause and we will see if our answers match up. Good luck. So my final answer is 16x to the fourth minus 8x squared plus 1. So what ended up happening was negative 8x cubed cancels positive 8x cubed. 2x cancels negative 2x. So we're only left with 3 terms in our final answer. And you can check my work against yours and see if it matches up at each step. If you got a different answer, see if you made a mistake. I don't think I made a mistake, but I guess we'll find out. All right, so that's enough multiplying polynomials today. Let's move on to finding the greatest common factor of given terms. So GCF stands for greatest common factor. So factors are just things that like multiply to get a certain number. So this is how I want you to do this. We have 2 terms here, 66yx and 30x squared y. You're gonna write them out with their prime factors. So you're gonna take 66yx and you're gonna take 30x squared y, and you're gonna write them out as prime factors, or you're gonna write their prime factorization. What that means is what multiplies it by what to get 66yx. So 66yx is really 66 times y times x. Well, 66 isn't prime. Well, what multiplies to get 66? Well, 6 times 11. Well, 11, y, and x are all prime. Nothing but 1 and themselves go into each of those things. But 6 can be broken down even farther. 6 can be 2 times 3 times 11 times y times x. And if you multiply that all back out, you would get 66yx. So now we're gonna do the same with 30x squared y. So 30 is like 3 times 10. X squared is really x times times y. You need to make sure that you do have multiplication signs in between each of these. So then we can break down 10 even farther. So 10 is 2 times 5. All right, and now we have a prime factorization for each of these terms. Well, do they have any common factors? So what I need you to do is I need you to circle what factors they have in common. So it looks to me that they both have a 2, they both have a 3, and they both have an x. So their greatest common factor is 3 times 2 times x. So you're going to put GCF colon, right? Those colons, I think. And then you're going to put 3 times 2 times x. So their GCF is 3 times 2 is 6 times x is 6x. So their GCF is 6x. And this is how I want you to write your final answer. I want to say GCF, these little symbols, and then 6x. So now you try 60y and 56x squared. So you're going to take 60y and 56x squared and write out their prime factorization. What times what times what is 60y? What times what times what is 56x squared? Go for it. So for the prime factorizations for 60y, I got 2 times 3 times 2 times 5 times y. 56x squared is 3 times 3 times 7 times x times x. Then, what do they have in common? So I'm going to circle what they have in common. I see a 3, and that's it. Wait, something's wrong here. Actually, 56 is not 9 times 7. It's 8 times 7. I'm so sorry. And then 8 is broken down to 2 times 4. And I'm so glad I caught this before I published this video. Hey, math is all about making mistakes and learning from our mistakes, so don't judge me. Okay, so they do not have a 3 in common. What I see that they have in common, though, is a 2, a 2, a 2, and a 2. So my GCF is 2 times 2, or my GCF is 4. All right, hopefully your answer matched mine. Hopefully I know how to multiply since I teach math. All right. So 18y squared and 54y squared. Go ahead and break those down into their prime factorizations and then identify their GCF. Press pause and then press play when you're ready to check your work. So for the GCF of these two monomials, I found it was 18y squared. All right, part D. So find the prime factorization of 80x cubed and 30x squared y. Pause the video and then press play when you're ready to check your work. Go for it. So for this GCF, I got 10x squared. Now we're going to do the same thing, but for 3 terms instead of just 2. So we're going to do 105x, 30yx, and 75x. So 105x can be broken down to 5 times 21 times x. 21 is 7 times 3, so 5 times 7 times 3 times x. Then 30yx is 5 times 6 times y times x, or 5 times 2 times 3 times y times x. 75 is 25 times x, so 5 times 5 times x. So I noticed that all of these terms have an x, so I'm going to circle these x's. Each term has a 5. And that's it. These two have a 3, but 75x doesn't have a 3, so we can't use. Wait, yes, it does. 75 is 3 times 25. There's a 3 here. Oh my goodness, McGuire, you're losing your mind. Okay. So our GCF has a 3, a 5, and an x. So our GCF is 15x. There we go. All right, your turn. 140n, 140m squared, and 80m squared. Break those down to their prime factorizations and then see what greatest common factor they have. Press pause and then press play to check your work. So I realized I meant to write 140n, not 14n. Sorry about that. But I noticed that after I broke them down to their prime factors, they each had a 2, another 2, and then a 5. 2 times 2 times 5 is 20. So our GCF is 20. All right, so now you're going to go to today's folder on Schoology. You're going to complete the extra practice and submit it. Send me a message in the chat when you're done with it so I know to check it and give you live feedback. And then you can start your homework for today. I'll see you back in class. Have a good day.